Hi YouTubers, Jeff here. This video will hopefully give you a hint of what it's like to hike on the crest of the Siskiyou Mountains in July. The views were spectacular. The Siskiyou Range is one of those few places where the Pacific Crest Trail actually follows the mountain crest, allowing you to see in all directions. The trail ducks in and out of pockets of forest, comes out on windy ridges, and then wanders along immense hillside meadows. You see trees everywhere, white fir, Shasta red fir, Douglas fir on the south, pines on the north. Flowers include yampa, a potato, bear grass, and Indian paintbrush, lupin, many others which I struggled to identify. On this particular day, I walked 16 miles from the California-Oregon border to Grouse Gap, where I stayed for the night. Like thousands of other hikers, I had a permit to start the PCT in Southern California this last spring. And like thousands of us, I chose not to start, to wait and see if travel restrictions would ease up. But by July, it seemed that Oregon was mostly open, snow melted, and some of the legendary trail, the PCT, was local for me, only 20 miles as the crow flies from my home. So I asked my sister to drive me to a trailhead near the California border, mile 1692, and I went off to the border sign to take a picture. Heading north, I passed Observation Peak and noticed Silver Fork Basin with its terraces, which puzzled me. It turns out these were made to slow down erosion after sheep overgrazed the area a century ago. And then, of course, I came to Sheep Camp Spring, where the shepherds camped, with a surprising amount of water flowing out of a pipe there. Great resource for the trail. But where does it come from this close to the ridge? A bit further on at Wrangell Gap, the trail switched over to the north side, and I was delighted to walk among bear grass and Jeffrey pines for about an hour. The bear grass has a peculiar flower where dozens of little stalks tipped with the little white flowers all cluster together around the central cone-shaped flower head. Next was Siskiyou Gap, where the rocks changed from sedimentary to volcanic, from serpentine to granite. And all along the ways, views of Little Applegate Valley to the north, the Klamath River Valley to the south, and in the distance, 50 miles away, the awesome Mount Shasta. I could also see Pilot Rock ahead in the east, a destination that the PCT reaches about a day later. I was able to get good close-ups of both with my Lumix camera. Late in the afternoon, I passed Siskiyou Peak, and wondering why some of the prominences like this have names and others don't. And finally, I reached Grouse Gap Shelter. Good place to set up my tent out of the wind. It actually was pretty cold that night. There are actually about a dozen shelters along the PCT, and although this was really meant for picnickers, it'll do. So, another video about tomorrow. Till then, keep hiking.